Welcome, Mikey.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you here. Honestly, this has just been a fun way for us to explore the hairdressing industry and our journeys throughout that process. And one thing that has stuck out to me with you is not only are you seriously good at your craft, but you're really good at sharing your craft with people. Can you talk about how you got into sharing your craft and educating?
You know, honestly, in beauty school, first of all, my road to beauty school, I used to tour with bands. Like, cutting hair was not on my radar. Like, I shaved my head my entire life. And after I quit the music industry, where I was like a tour manager, but I literally did nothing. I just would scrape the pipe for these guys.
For like metal or emo?
This was like MySpace emo days.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And we toured with bands that like I thought were going nowhere. And like I remember being on an RV with this band that was showing us this new album. And I remember listening to it and being like, these guys are going nowhere. The band I work for is going to blow up. And that was Pierce the Veil.
Oh my God.
And then on our tour, we had this one headline tour, we had a band opening up that just kept going for it. And you're like, you guys need to stop. Yeah. It was We the Kings.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's like it's even with bands, like they make an album, they're like, this song sucks, and that ends up being their hit.
I think they re-released it like 7 times, and then finally it blew up. The band I work for, I was like, they're going place. No one knows who they are.
Yeah.
I still talk to them all the time. They would say the same thing. But
sorry, guys.
But I quit touring, and then I moved from Seattle to Portland to go to school because I was like, I should get a degree in something, and maybe then I'll go work in the music industry. And that lasted a semester. And then I just was working to work, and I was such a lazy fuck. And sorry, I don't know if
You're allowed to cuss.
Okay.
We cuss, yeah.
I was a lazy fuck. And then I had this moment where I was like, I need to know, like, before I go back to Seattle and just do the same old shit, like partying or whatever, like, why am I here? And I remember the exact moment that I had this, like, I think I want to go to hair school moment where my best friend to this day, he still does hair, and he did it like right out of high school. And we all were like, what the fuck? Like, like at the time, like, I didn't know any guys who did hair.
Yeah.
And this was the very end of 2009. I remember the exact moment. I was at this place called Dante's, and on Sundays they had Dante's Inferno. And there's like go-go's above you and pyrotechnics and magician. This
amazing.
is Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
And while there's like a mini magician and all these people around me, I was like, I wonder what I'm going to do with my life.
Not the magician.
Yeah. They had swords in the mouth and everything. And I just had this moment. I was like, I think I want to do hair. And I'd never styled my hair or anything. I never touched it. I didn't know anything about it. And I toured 2 schools, but ended up going to this local one. And I didn't know what to sign up for. So I just signed up for full cause because they told me at the time, if you want to go out of state, you're going to need a fully licensed license, which isn't 100% true.
Right.
But I can do waxing.
Love that.
But nails? I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah, nails.
Yeah, nails.
Acrylic?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. I was very bad at it.
Oh, God, that was the worst part of cosmetology school.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Dude. The pedicures.
The pedicures.
If you go to Aveda's, you don't have to do that.
What?
They can't make the products non-toxic enough.
What?
So we didn't offer nail services.
But like, what about state board? Like, we had to do a certain amount of everything to apply for our state board.
We only had like a few days of learning.
Aveda,
like a day of
come
learning
through
nails.
and explain this.
And
Why did I have to do pedicures?
We just did each other's, and that was it.
Oh,
like
God.
our pedicure bowls were out of service, like weren't even hooked up.
Oh, God, I have the worst memories of that.
Oh, they just had buckets in this hole that we do nails. Yeah. I'm still close with that school, but the location was old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually really liked beauty school. I actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can say it now because I'm graduating or whatever, but you have to do a certain amount of
services and stuff.
To get through. I would always grab a friend and be like, hey, do you want a facial? And of course they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go in the room kind of like this, and I'd be like, all right, we're actually not going to fucking do that. And I'm going to take a nap really quick for like 30 minutes so you can do whatever you want.
I'm definitely not going to rub your face for 30 minutes.
I'm not going to touch you. And I just flew right through beauty school. But to answer your question with the education in beauty school, like I still didn't know where I fit into this whole system. And like I remember just freaking out about not being able to wrap a perm and just trying to figure out where I fit. And it was like 6 months or 7 months into school up in Seattle. They had a hair show called Fashion Focus. I think it's a Cosmoprof thing. I went and because it's like a 3.5 hour drive from Portland, and like walking around, I specifically remember seeing a Paul Mitchell like stage and just being like, what the fuck is that? Like, it was just the stage, the seats, there was people on stage, and it just looked fun. And I didn't know what that was called. You know, now I'm like, oh, you're a presenter, you're on stage, you're an educator. And I was so inspired. I don't even know who I saw. I really don't remember. But I remember being so inspired that I bought something just to feel like this is more professional. And it was super skinny.
Oh my God, amazing.
Just having that, I was like,
amazing.
I'm a pro.
They changed the packaging on that recently, and I was really sad.
What?
Yeah,
It's
I saw it
not
at
like
Cosmo.
the clear with
it's
the red?
clear, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And Paul Mitchell, I'm looking at you. Go back to the old packaging.
Yeah.
Continue.
I know some people there. We can.
I was so saying.
Yeah. Colin Caruso.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's do it. We'd like bully them into changing their packaging back. It was so tried and true the way that it looked. And right now it just looks it looks like they want to be clean, but it's not.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not meant to. It's skinny serum. It worked. Anyways. We could talk about that tangent too later on.
Yeah. Products and product. Yeah.
Yes. That's cool. I mean, I feel like that's so kind of same thing, same with me. Didn't know I wanted to do hair, never thought about it, got into it, went to a show, I saw TG and I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that happened to you. You're like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think I could do that, but I just was like, whatever that is.
Okay.
Like, I
was just ballsy, I guess.
I think to this day, I still have like a major public speaking fear. And in like high school, I would purposely, like senior year, we had to do a 20-minute presentation as part of like one of the requirements to even graduate.
Yeah.
In high school.
In high school.
That's awesome.
And we had to
they did not care about us.
Yeah.
Wow.
I purposely failed out the first time because I did not want to speak in front of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then had to do it the second time. And literally for 15 minutes of it, I just played a DVD from this band called the Aquabats because I was like, this is what I want to do. And I just let it play and they'd be like, all right, we get it. And I'd be like, no, it's not over.
This is the best part.
Yeah, you don't get the point. And if you know the Aquabats, they like dress up in these like superhero outfits and it's this whole thing. Yeah. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, I just after that was inspired and then I don't know. I just got an apprenticeship after school working for 2 Redken like regional educators. And it wouldn't mention like I want to be an educator one day. I don't know what or how to do that, but I think I want to do that. And then like my apprenticeship wrapped up a year later. While I was looking for a new salon home, ended up at this barbershop that was opening up at the time. And this is 2011, end of 11, early 12. And Instagram is out, but it's starting to like kind of rumble a little bit. And I didn't plan on staying here long, but I ended up really enjoying the fast-paced cutting and all that stuff. And during that period, I still wanted to be an educator, but I kept, I just worked. And in 2014, I had an opportunity to, with Hanzo, they were like, hey, do you want to teach a class? And I was like, yeah, sure. And in my head, I'm like, I've never fucking done that.
Yeah.
And they just put me out. It was a beauty school called Elite School of Beauty. And they just put me out there on the floor with like 50 kids. And I remember just being terrified. But when you're like thrown into certain situations, you just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was terrible. I don't remember what I said or what I did or how I approached the haircut. But it was a lot of fun. And that was kind of the beginning of the education stuff.
That's really cool. I mean, you just got to be thrown into the wolves sometimes.
Yeah.
You really do. And then once you do it, you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I don't remember what the haircut was, but I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure they all got, every class you take, I feel like whether that class is for you or not, you get something out of it. And that's what, as an educator, I always had to remind myself of that when I'd have the imposter syndrome of like, I don't belong on this stage or I don't belong in this room teaching these people. And I'm like, every class I've been to, I've gotten something out of it. So anytime you're teaching, just remember that somebody's going to get something, It's true. Okay. So you were working at the barbershop and then Is that the barbershop that turned into ownership at some point, or is that a different thing that you went
was a
to?
different thing.
Okay.
It was a barbershop called the Modern Man.
Okay.
And this is in Portland, Oregon, 2011. And then the early barber stages. And it was someone I knew that was a nighttime student who dropped out, opened up a barbershop, and explaining it to me. I went there. You'd have to be a Portland native to know, a few details, but there's a chain in the Northwest called Bishop's. It's like a large chain. They were directly across the street from the Modern Man's first location.
Okay.
And I walked into Modern Man, and I remember the owner was like, it's gonna be twirly mustaches. We're gonna be handing out cigarettes and whiskey, and there's a speakeasy, and it's this dress up thing. And I remember being like, wow, that's fucking great, dude. I literally walked across the street like, fuck that. And I applied across the street at Bishop's. But at the time, you needed at least 2 years of experience. I had one.
For Bishop's?
For Bishop's.
Really?
At that time.
Interesting.
And so I didn't get the job, and I walked back, and I was like, yeah, I could do it.
Yeah.
And ended up working there. And really did enjoy it. It was fun in the beginning, and we as a group, there was one location, we had a speakeasy upstairs.
That's cool.
It grew to 3 locations when I had left. They did open a couple more after I left. But I think you just, like many others, you get that edge to, what else is out there when you know you've already hit that ceiling at that location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really did learn a lot there and witnessed a lot from the owners of what I would do or what I wouldn't do. The people around me, like what I would want if I, opened something up.
Yeah.
Went to another place just to transition into opening up my own place.
Right.
And June of 2015, I opened up brick and mortar.
Okay.
So was that like a part of the plan all along, or did that like suddenly become a thing that you really wanted to do?
I think towards the end of that Modern Man period, which was a couple of years, 3 years or something like that, I started having the idea of like a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do this.
100%.
And
The age old, we got this.
yeah, I could do this.
Yeah.
And I see how they're doing it. They're making money. I could do that and make money. And I had collectively got $150,000 to do the build out and have a cushion of money to transition that first 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had custom cabinets and dressers and merch shelves and all the things. And you have to buy into product lines, you know? So I bought into some. And then wanted to carry like independent small brands. Later on, we learned that you want to work with brands that have like a loyalty system.
You need back bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really does help.
Yep.
And
It's not a fun thing for salon owners to have to learn, but that's why as salons you have to partner with big brands, is because they support your back bar.
Yeah.
But even some of the big brands don't do a good job of that. Like I'll call out Kevin Murphy. They don't do a good job with that. And they can get away with it though, because people love their products and buy it. So good for them. But that's a not fun part about being on the salon ownership side versus being on a styling end or as a stylist. You don't understand the cost of back bar and what that takes away from the profit. And so that's why if you work for a salon that partners with a very large brand and you want a tiny small brand, that's probably why.
Yeah. And also when maybe one person at the salon or barbershop likes this specific array of products from such brand.
Right.
And it took the barbershop or the salon forever to get rid of it.
Yes.
And then they're like, well, we need that. It's like, no, that was a waste of money.
Yeah,
That's why
like
I'm not
that
ordering that again.
$1,000 sat there and did nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And
So,
now it's going bad here. pretty
Unless
soon.
you're selling 3 units a day, no,
no.
not doing it.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
it's
tough
always like
thing.
a product it's always a line that's kind of like, but there's that one person who like really likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, every salon has that, don't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's not fun. And it's every business. I was never a salon owner, but I was in management for a little while and I learned so much and I'm so grateful for it, but I don't envy being a salon owner at all.
Yeah. I think I was listening to a podcast years ago with Sam Villa and he said the best days of his life was when he opened his salon and when he closed it.
It's like a boat.
It's like I was just about to say, it's like a boat.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
good to get on, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like we need people to own salons, obviously, so that way we can all have a job. I think that when people are like the hyper creatives or like the people that crave that creativity, that's not the job for you. I really don't think so. Unless it's your own sole business, like for yourself, you know?
Right.
But once you start managing people, you're managing expectations and you'll never deliver.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. I had no business opening up a business. If it wasn't for Kendall, like it would have died out that first year.
Yeah.
You know, that was 100% her on the back end doing the business stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, well, let's let it open and let
Let's
it
see
just
what
run it, do its thing. Yeah.
Let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah. I got front desk. It's all good. And it was insane. I mean, the first year you're just like an autopilot and we got through it. And there was absolute madness in that first year with just staffing and whatever. And that's a whole other thing. But, and then the second year is like when it starts like wear off and you're like, oh my God, like what's going on?
Yeah.
That's
and then
so
you
true.
have like people that there's always like that cancerous person.
Yeah.
And then it starts like this community and you're going to have people leave and then other people come in. But that first time a group leaves as a salon owner or barbershop owner, you take it so personally.
Yeah.
It's traumatic.
It's hard, traumatic.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does.
You know?
I think every salon owner I've ever talked to or worked with says that exact. It almost like creates like a whole different way that they approach everybody else after that, which in some ways is good, in some ways could be bad because not every situation is going to be like that. But it definitely shows you like these are not family; these are employees or coworkers, you know. And so once somebody like establishes that boundary in their brain, it hurts a little less, but it does hurt.
Oh yeah,
It's sad.
There was a couple people that I really resonated with that were on the cutting side because I had a retail store and front desk, and then you can walk through to the other side, and that was the cutting side.
Oh, that's cool.
And with the cutters, the people that were bringing in clientele, there was specifically two guys where I was like, you know, when we had a couple different groups even come and go or whatever, they stayed consistent. And with one of them, I was like, I realized at a certain point, like I can't make you stay here forever.
Yeah.
But what can we do to make you stay here as long as possible and help you grow?
Right.
And I feel like that really shifted our relationship. And his name was Kalen. And he was like our Clark Kent. Like he was just so cool and perfect. And
I love that.
Like, he's such a like barber's barber. And
That's so neat.
you know, anytime someone was mean to him, I'd just be like, yo, you got a fucking problem with me now.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And he's such a good guy. Eventually he did leave to move to Arizona where his family's at.
Okay. Well, that
And
hurts
he's
less. It's not like
crushing
he
it.
moved like down the road, you know?
Yeah. And we still talk all the time. I'll send him offensive memes and all that. And
Yeah.
he's that guy.
I feel like that's all of our relationships at this point. Although I don't know if you do that. Well, I do this with you. I send her memes all the time and Jay, and they're like, you sent me 32
I love it.
things. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. It means I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
Jay does not love
I
it.
love whenever they build up and then I get to like
You go
spend
through,
some
you're like, what
time
was Carly
watching it.
thinking that
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
No, but that is something that I've heard from like every owner I've talked to is that they have like one or two people that are like the people that kind of bridge the gap between like owner and other stylists a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those two guys and the other guy, his name was Ryan.
Mhm.
And we just would banter all the time, you know, but like whatever they were into, I just learned to, instead of an owner of like gatekeeping them,
Yeah.
to support them in their own ways. And so,
Yes.
you know, when Kaylin explored education, it's like, okay, let's book something for you, host it here. I don't want any money or profit. Do your thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, he moved to Arizona, and now he opened his own barbershop called Electric Barbering, I think.
Cool.
And then Ryan, his story is really interesting. I didn't want to handle the social media for brick and mortar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I got my own thing. I'm educating, I'm running a business, kids. So Ryan injured his shoulder and had to get surgery or something. And while he was gone, he was like, I need money. And I was like, well, I can't afford a whole lot, but I can maybe pay you to run our social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want with it. And he got into video editing. I think he bought a camera and Adobe Premiere. And he got really good fast, like really fast. Like within a couple of months, he's making like unique edits at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And within, I think, 6 months, he was making regular videos for the shop or himself or for individual stylists. And then one day he's like, dude, Sophie Pock, that Stay Gold 31 on
Yeah.
Instagram, she was looking for an editor for this video. Should I do it? And it's like, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? She doesn't respond.
Yeah.
She's not going to tell you to fucking off yourself.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so he reached out and she said, like, sure. And edited that video for her and Rob from Scorum or Ruzel.
Yeah.
It was like a collab video they
That's
did.
cool.
He didn't shoot it, but he edited it.
Okay.
And it got nominated by Hairbrain and I think won.
Nice.
And then he started traveling literally the world with her just as like her personal videographer at the time.
Love.
And his opportunities went from one thing to another. And funny little side story, we were talking about football. He, within a year, was doing behind the scenes videos stuff for Sierra because
of her husband?
Because of one of the barbers' girlfriend was a choreographer.
Mm-hmm.
So they met and then he started doing videos for her.
What?
And then he got the Sierra backstage thing. And
that's really cool.
He texted me, he knows I'm a big Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sitting next to Russell Wilson. Do you want me to ask him something? I said, yeah. Can you ask him why he threw the fucking ball on the 2-yard line? And Ryan was funny. Like, yeah, no.
That's incredible. See, I love stories like that. And just in general, like when you go into an industry thinking you're going to do one thing and then it just completely shifts entirely.
That's what I was going to say is I feel like everyone thinks like originally whenever they're like in school or out of school, like, oh, it's like apprenticeship, working at a salon, and then like maybe owning a salon. And that's like where you go from there. And it's crazy how many
facets there are.
Different things you can like related or like kind of related or you know what I mean? That you're just doing hair and somehow you end up doing this other thing. There's just so many things involved in hair now. Like the social media and the brands and the education and there's just so many different routes now.
Yeah, or people getting into sales for companies. Like if people need insurance benefits, they could work for a company and sell for them. And there's so many routes in this industry. And I do think one point you made about being a salon owner, when you've got employees that have different interests, help them. Like give them a platform to do it and they're going to be more loyal to you. I think a lot of salon owners are very fearful of growth with their stylists. They want them to grow financially for both parties involved, but they're really scared if they step out and do any other opportunity that they'll leave. But what if you provided that opportunity for them?
Oh yeah.
They're probably bound to be a lot more loyal to you. And then everything they're doing outside of your salon has your salon brand with it. So put your stylist on a platform and help them grow. So I think it's awesome that you did that with your friends. And then one of them ended up completely doing something different in the best way.
And he eventually left hair because he's like, I'm too busy to be here. And it's just like, fuck yeah, dude.
But that's good because now he has an understanding for clients from that. Like if he's doing stuff for you or other hairdressers, barbers, whatever that is, he's like, I have a really unique eye for this.
Yeah. That actually really helped him a lot because a lot of videographers don't obviously look at what we're looking at. And so visually like, all right, that's all right. But he would get that look of like, oh, that's a cool approach on the haircut, but now it's a cool edit. And it really led to, let me backtrack. With that guy, I would go with him sometimes when we do like hair shows or classes or whatever. We went to ISSE in 2019 and it was one of those in between periods where you're just walking outside the convention center. And we were walking around and about 20 feet in front of us was Sam Villa, which I recognized. And I was like, Ryan, that's Sam Villa. And he's like, should we say something? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. And I was just like, hey, Sam. And he turned around and you could tell he was like, all right, but we started talking and we're walking the same direction. So I'm just like, all right, we're going to follow you. You know? You could tell he probably was like, oh, fuck me. But he's a great guy. But, we start talking naturally, like golf, whatever. And then it led to videography and it led to Ryan and him talking. And it led to them working together.
Love that.
So they did a lot of videos for Sam Villa brand. And then eventually Ryan did do some social media work with him up until a couple of years ago. And he's really done a lot of work with a lot of hair people. And to your point, like how it benefits my business is, February of 2020, I had a nonprofit event that I put on called Social Rising. And the point was to bring outside sources into my space, but I didn't want to call it brick and mortar present. So I just called it Social Rising. It's not this brand, it's a separate thing. Just come hang out and watch education. And because of his connections, we were able to get this girl Zoe from San Diego. If it wasn't for Ryan, I would not have met Zoe, and then Andrew Carruthers came in, and just all, I didn't pay anyone, they
awesome.
just were there to raise money. And it was a really fun event that I would love to do it again.
Yeah,
And,
that sounds awesome.
well, at that time I was like, I got big brands to give us merch because I would sell tickets to come in and all that.
Right.
And we would do giveaways. And I was like, dude, this was awesome. I cannot wait to do this again later this year, August 2020. And this was February 2020 when this happened.
Oh,
and then
geez.
obviously it never did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then, I mean, I love that idea. I think you definitely need to do that again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like you know a lot of people that would help for sure.
Yeah.
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 I think that's super cool. Yeah, all the plans in February 2020, we all had really brilliant plans for the year, and then that was semi derailed, but some of those we could bring back. I think that's a cool one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now in education for you, what's next for you as far as sharing and teaching?
I'm right now, I think I'm just at a point in life with, and I say this in a positive way, but I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I lost those too.
Yeah. Giving and
When
yeah.
did you lose it?
I lost it all.
Yeah.
Was
Damn.
there a specific moment in time that you were like, yeah, that's gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I think, for me, it was definitely just the last 5 years, and you've been through obviously a lot in the last 5 years, and you just got to go for it and just think about you.
I
Just
think
do what you want to do.
People do the best things in their career once they get to that point.
Yeah, little rock bottom moments.
Not
Right,
even
yeah.
that, just not caring. So I feel like you become a hairstylist and you care so much about what everyone thinks.
Yes.
Your clients, your employees, your coworkers, your everything. And then
Mhm.
you become maybe working for a brand, and then you care so much what they think of you, and then what your classes and the people attending your classes think. And
Mhm.
and then there just comes a point where it's why?
Yeah.
Why do I care so much? You know what I mean? And then it's almost I think people flourish after.
I think
after
you're
that.
right. I mean, you've seen that with us in general.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so now that you've been through that moment and you've lost your fucks, what are you going to do now?
Well, I think to your point, when I was in ownership and was a global educator for a little while, I cared so much about what others thought and not important people, just unimportant people.
Yeah.
And what I had to fit as a mold, I had to fit under a mold as an owner.
Exactly.
And I felt like in both avenues that really held me back at that time. I probably would have been in a different position now if I had not been such a fucking idiot. But I also wouldn't be here as far as my business goes if I had not made as many mistakes as I have made, both in behind the chair and as business and marketing, education, whatever. And then just obviously with life events that have happened, I'm just going to do what sounds fun. I'm going to do what benefits not only myself, but others.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now with education, I mean, there's so many phenomenal educators that are really good at advanced techniques, and that's great and all, but I feel like a majority of us want to just see practical stuff that I can use behind the chair. Don't give me these crazy advanced techniques. Don't give me this one trick pony that's not going to work on everyone.
Yeah.
Just give me information that I can use behind the chair, and I will do that. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to get across in my classes. I have a little brand that I'm working on, but we can talk about it later. But I think it's fun to do boring stuff because boring is what pays your bills.
Boring
right?
is the money.
Yeah.
You know what I've realized too, and I say this to all my assistants, when it comes to color and cutting, is there's so many amazing hair colorists and so many classes and so many techniques, and there's really the ratio of really amazing hair colorists to cutters is so vastly different.
Yes.
There's not very many people that do great hair cutting, and I think it is because like all the boring stuff. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Everyone wants to know the boring stuff and no one's really showing people the boring.
Yeah, I think so much of what we see is like for an image instead of for a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue when it comes to fundamentals. They seem boring on paper, but that's what makes us money. And so I think that's so cool that you're going
that like got lost.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Truly.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like people are out here cutting hair not actually knowing any of the fundamentals.
No.
No.
And
Good-
that's what
good for
makes
them.
it so hard, you know?
Good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
What's interesting is working in barbershop spaces and now salon spaces. When I go to a salon and teach a class, sometimes there's people there that are forced to be there because the salon owner paid for this class or whatever.
Mm.
And there's some stylists who are like, I don't ever want to do hair cutting or men's haircuts. Like, I just don't want to do that. That's boring. I just want to do color. And it's like, okay, that's great. But, maybe you are getting into double booking and you have such large gaps, maybe you can squeeze in a quick little haircut.
Yeah.
But I think what's really interesting is, again, being in that barbershop space, having that barber pole outside, it was so hard to get up to $45 a haircut. You take that pole away and I'm in a salon space offering the same product and I charge $85 and no one bats a fucking eye.
Isn't that so true?
Yeah. And I feel like I wish stylists knew more what their value is they don't have to be good at it.
No.
It's just the experience and just the client being there. They feel like, okay, this is worth it. Whereas like barbers who have to really fight tooth and nail to get to that higher price point. But I wish
they're doing great haircuts.
They're doing really great haircuts. And I wish they knew their value because stylists and salons are like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't want to even do it.
True.
And they're both just like working against each other, not working with each other.
Dude, that's so true. And I wonder when that gap stopped because when I moved to Nashville, 50% of my clients were dudes because I worked on Music Row. And so that built up my business because they'd send me guys are great referrals. And then now that I work at the location I do, that percentage is much different. But I will say that they're willing to pay me what they are because of the experience, the accommodation. They know I'm professional. They know that I'm going to always make it a relaxing experience. They know what they're going to get. Whereas like when you walk in somewhere, you may not get that. And if we could kind of bridge that gap between the two, I think we could really elevate it for both hairstylists and barbers because there is a bridge there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's like when did it divide? I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some crossover as far as like a lot of barbers wanting to do salon techniques.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of salons that are carrying those like super barber-esque brands, so it's like they want to crossover, but they're not really doing it.
Yeah.
And they just make it harder on themselves. And
so we just got to give them those fundamentals.
Yeah.
Which is something that you're doing. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you come up with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool. Any hot takes on the industry?
Hot takes.
Product companies, salons, owners, stylists.
I feel like it's just, what I am familiar with is with the thinking I could do that to be the owner. So when I hear people in the break room, not just saying where we work, but like
anywhere.
Just people complain about certain things. I just sometimes want to be like, I just want to say, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Like when I signed a 5-year lease. It was $25 in rent, which is really cheap even then, but still it's crazy. But $2,500 in rent plus triple net. And do you guys know what triple net is?
I think so. It's like plus your sales.
I don't know. I didn't know it.
Yeah, I believe so. Hell, I'm pretty certain that's what that means. Like, did you pay top of the sales? Like whatever income you brought in? We just
I
need
think
to.
it was something with taxes.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah. We're going to have to ask Kendall.
Yeah.
But there was so much I didn't realize. And then if you offer like credit card systems, there's a credit card fee.
Yep.
And it's thousands a week, know? There's
Payroll
so much.
taxes.
Payroll taxes.
Overhead of products.
Yeah.
Labor.
Front desk.
Yep.
And I know there's like freaking stupid brands who are like, we don't need front desk. We don't need product.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying. And they have failed salons.
Yeah.
They have failed salons by preaching that message.
Yeah.
There is a quick pendulum flipping back away from that because almost 10 years later, they realize how detrimental and damaging that is to salons.
Yeah.
It's not that everyone needs a front desk, but if you're running an operation that has like, I don't know, more than 3 people, there is a huge benefit of it. But then the labor costs for the front desk, people have no idea.
It's a lot.
And then assistants on top of that if you're working at a really major salon, you know?
Yeah. Which assistants are obviously super helpful. Front desk, super helpful. Like I don't want to deal with the phone calls. I don't want to
or
deal
just
with,
checking people out and pre-booking.
And I don't want to do that. And so yeah, I love front desk. And yeah, I feel like the kind of related to all that stuff, the hourly rate thing, I don't really hear about it as much. But when you work for like let's say a large establishment that has 40 stations or whatever, and you guys offer online booking that says no preference, and it coincidentally gets booked with someone who offers hourly booking,
right?
And it's a kid's cut, that's not the mom's fault for having to pay the 2 hours. Because you took forever to do a kid's cut.
You're punishing the consumer by your model, which is insane. And then that's also not scalable for you because it seems like you're nickel and diming your person versus a flat rate.
Right.
Where, you know, for some models, you could charge a flat rate and have 2 people at a time. And then you're making double that flat rate instead of just hourly.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
There is just such a crazy difference between like the thought process that you have to have as an owner versus like just what employees that haven't ever been a part of that don't know.
Right.
Like a 60% commission and all of that. Like people talk about that.
I don't know how they're
like,
profitable.
No, it's not possible. Unless you're like
I don't think they're paying for labor 100% of the time those salons are open.
It's something
There's no
weird.
way. There's no way.
You just don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to, as an owner, be like, I literally can't do that for you. And then they're like, you're so greedy.
Yeah. They're like, you make 50% of our money. It's like, actually, they don't even make 7% of your money. That's a true average. Most salons do not even make 7% of what they're charging because of overhead. It's just that simple. And when you really get into the nitty gritty and break it down, it sounds like what you're saying in hot take. I don't even think this is a hot take because we completely agree with you. Is that not all of us can be salon owners, or we shouldn't be. You know what we should be is like building our own brand, whatever that is. But it doesn't have to be managing people behind a chair.
Right.
And for the people that are managing people behind the chair, they're saints.
Yeah, it's like a labor of love.
It is.
Like I see owning a salon as that. I'm like, wow. It's like whenever people are like, it takes a special person.
It's like
to
you're
be
basically like a pastor where you're like,
where you're like, oh, you're so sacrificial and everything. I'm like, that's being a salon owner.
It's true.
Oh,
You can be profitable, don't get me wrong, but like,
it takes a lot of
my gosh,
investment to be profitable.
Most people, like, you're telling me I have to own a whole establishment and manage all of that, but also like work behind the chair pretty much the same to like make money.
And the only way I'll be profitable is if I have like 12 solidly booked people or above.
Wow.
While I'm behind the chair. That's really hard.
Oh, yeah. When I was the owner, I was booked every half hour with no breaks. I was booked out weeks in advance. I took a half hour break on my day to go give the front desk a break. So then I would get behind the front desk and then get back down the chair.
Yeah.
So then I would have, I don't remember if it was around that period towards the end, but let's just say I'm sure there was someone being like, I want more commission because I'm sick of the business taking all my money. It's like, I'm over here fucking grinding.
Yeah,
I'm not,
literally.
like, saving your money.
And they just get to like come there, make money, and then go home. They don't have any overhead of thought. Like they don't have to think about inventory, schedules, this client dispute, whatever it is. No.
I had zero freedom.
Yeah, that part is so hard.
And you know, it's crazy though, because I've been thinking this since I became a stylist like 4 or 5 years ago. Like right before me was the big wave of like booth renters. And then once I started getting into the business side of things, I was like, I don't think it's as great as people think that it is.
No.
And so
the math is hard to, they might make 15% more than commission, but like the amount of work you're doing,
it's crazy
doesn't
how
equate.
In the 5 years though, it's like really been going that I think it's gonna
pendulum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like commission salons are gonna be like, they're not looked at as like the stepping stone to like owning your suite or like booth renting.
I have a funny story I forgot about. this is a
What?
good story. You guys will both appreciate this. So I met somebody like a week ago.
Yeah.
I won't say where, because then if they listen to this, they'll know. But they are also a stylist. And this person that was introduced to me is not a hairstylist. And she was like, oh, where do you work? And I was like, oh, at Local Honey. She goes, so are you commissioned?
No, that
No.
one. No, do you remember that client that was in our salon? We might have to take this out. But
Okay.
he literally told.
We're definitely
He
going to take
literally
that out.
told one of our assistants, like, oh, you're going to be a commissioned stylist here? And she was like, yeah, we're commissioned. So they're just robbing you.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So this person looked at me and goes, oh, so are you commissioned? I was like, yeah, I am. And she's like, have you thought about booth running? It's like, you know, you really should, because it's amazing.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to I was just like, oh, okay. And then I was like,
I'll look into it.
in my head, I was LOLing because I was like, this person doesn't know who I am or know what I preach about or even know my income. But like my petty ass was like, you know what? Let's follow each other on Instagram. I was like, here's my Instagram. I'd love to connect and stuff. And now I'm kind of hoping that she dug a little further and was like,
yeah.
you can make money doing commission.
Yeah.
You really can. And you can make it as much or as little as you want. And the thing I love about it is I work 3 days a week. I make great money. And on the other days, I can build my business and spend time with my family.
And I think
couldn't do that if I was on my own.
the main thing between even the three of us is when you're a commissioned stylist, you have so much more time to do the other endeavors as well.
Yes,
Whereas
exactly.
you would not necessarily have that.
100%. We have one last hot take, Mikey, before we let you go. So I had people send in anonymous stories and questions and hot takes on the industry, but I thought this would be a funny story for me to read for all of us.
Okay.
You ready for this? So someone sent us an anonymous message saying, one time when I was an apprentice, I found a model for cutting classes through a Facebook group who turned out to be a cult leader. He was the leader of a church that specialized in queer, mentally ill, and disabled, and they met twice a month to do psychedelics together like communion. Honestly, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Can we be a part of that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have any funny stories from when you were an apprentice like that? I definitely never had that good of a story.
No, my apprenticeship was pretty crazy, but no real wild stories. I mean, I would just mess with people even then.
Yeah.
I would take, my mentor's client to the shampoo bowl and say, you got a conditioning treatment. I'm going to let you sit for a while. I'll just do a hand massage. And they'd be like, you do that? I'd be like, lady, I give the best hand jobs in town.
Were you just on their hand?
No, whenever someone's in the back room and they're cooking the popcorn and it smells so burnt like it always does. And my assistant's like, what's that smell? It's burning. I'm like, oh, just my client's hair.
Oh.
She was like, oh my God.
I thought you were going to be like, what smell? Like they're having a stroke. I was like, that's so mean.
There's one of the apprentices that was put out an ad for I need this model for this. And someone sent her a bunch of pictures, different angles, really honestly.
Oh, I remember this.
A lot of great photos. Look at the hair. But when you zoom in, you're like,
she's naked.
this woman's naked in every single one of these photos.
Just in the least
that-
flattering
That
positions
mirror
front and back.
behind her
Yeah.
just gave it away.
It was pretty
craziest
amazing.
thing.
Well, on that note, we're excited to see what you do moving forward with education. It's been fun to watch what you're doing currently. And I think that people definitely need fundamentals and approachable hair. And I'm excited to see what you make from that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Mikey.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yay.